Hello, my name is George Myers. I'm the council member for the 8th District, and welcome to the Myers Report. Today I have with me Councilmember Chris Ford.
Thanks for having me, George. Glad to be here today.
Thank you for coming. And we're also going to be joined by Councilmember Peggy Henson later on in this segment. So for the Myers Report this time around, we're going to be talking about small area plans, how you can get involved in them, what they mean for you, what they'll do for you in the future, and why it's so critically important to get involved. Small area plans are in the news today for a few different exciting reasons. One is that the Cardinal Valley area with Councilmember Peggy Henson is beginning to implement their small area plan process. The 8th District, which is roughly Tate's Creek to Alumni, New Circle to about one neighborhood outside of Man of War, has embarked on their small area plan. And if you miss it, on September 23rd, we had a wonderful kickoff dinner. We had about 200 folks out. Very exciting time, very festive atmosphere. But really what we did was begin to lay the groundwork for citizen involvement in this process. And that's what's really, really critical. So if you own a business in the 8th District, or you live in the 8th District, you want to get involved in this process. And so the Armstrong Mill West Small Area Plan is getting ready to get started, as I said. And then Councilmember Chris Ford here has been a part of the East End Small Area Plan, and they're getting ready to review and do their 5-year review. And that's really going to be exciting to hear all the accomplishments that they've achieved throughout that process of first creating that plan and then implementing that plan over the last 5 years.
That's correct. And Councilmember Myers, I want to congratulate you and Councilmember Henson for embarking your constituents on the small area plan process. The First Council District has been very fortunate to benefit, of course, with council support, small area plans in the East End and also in the Central sector. Time goes by very fast. This started with my predecessor, Councilmember Andrea James, but 5 to 6 years later, they're still being very useful tools for us going forward.
Excellent. And in the council meeting the other night, I recall that there's a TIF application that's going to be submitted here shortly, and some of the residents talked about the fact that that TIF application coincides and is in agreement with your small area plan. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I can. You know, the small area plan, many of the things that we've been able to accomplish and I work with our neighborhoods on in the East End specifically has been based upon the involvement and the participation, the voice of the residents in the planning process. I find that the plan is a roadmap.
Yes.
The plan can be a safeguard. The plan can let the general public know what are the desired development opportunities, things that will contribute to the overall growth of the neighborhood. And it's a living document. It's not
Sure.
a tool that we just print and leave on the shelf.
Can you talk about a couple of the really exciting accomplishments that came out of the plan?
Yes, actually, Councilmember Myers, we're going to be, well, we just completed actually a meeting, a 5-year plan update to review the plan. The East End and the Central sector were adopted in 2009, 5 years ago. The Lyric Theater,
Sure.
the Charles Young Center redevelopment, the Isaac Murphy Memorial Art Garden, the things we're trying to do to calm traffic and make streets and more accessible. All of those things date back to the small area plan, and it's a good gauge for us as policymakers, as council members, our planning staff, and our residents. And it's interesting that the citizens are still engaged. Folks who've attended meetings long ago, they still want to always go back to the small area plan.
Right, that's what was really exciting to me about this whole process. And for the 8th District, one of the things that I've said, and true with Cardinal Valley too, I believe, is that this small area plan, when it's done, will serve as Councilmember Ford said, a roadmap. That's a key word, a roadmap, so that everything that comes down and happens in the 8th District or in the Cardinal Valley area after these plans are done we'll have to go back and take a look at that roadmap to see if they fit. Also, it's a safeguard. So when someone wants to come into the community and do something, the citizens go back and say, first let's check and make sure that this is in accordance with our plan. But the other thing that I would say is that this plan is going to give you as a citizen and as a business owner an opportunity to really shape the next generation of what takes place in a big core of the 8th District. That's why this is so vital. You missed the kickoff? No problem. We've got plenty of ways to get involved. We're excited about having you involved, and it is so critical that you come and get involved. We've got a couple ways to do that. One, there's a survey that you can fill out, but that's just the beginning. We need your input. We need warm bodies to come to the meetings to help us identify challenges, areas that we can work on and improve, but then also come together and talk about solutions. And I want to talk to Councilmember Ford about that, because that's a key part of the problem, or a part of this process. Everyone can identify things that can be improved, but then it's that bringing citizens together to talk about a solution that's really important. So could you talk a little bit about how that worked?
I can, and Councilmember Myers, you've been on council 10 years now, and you probably recall when my predecessor, Councilwoman James, was in office.
Yes.
And the planning process dating back to 2007, 2008, and the plan being adopted in 2009. But it has continued on. Now that I'm on council since 2011 with you and our colleagues. So your residents out in the 8th District and those of Councilmember Henson can look forward to being engaged.
Yes.
You guys have Ed Holmes is going to do a great job for you guys facilitating and bringing folks into the fold and into the discussion. So that's an exciting part of the engagement. I believe truly that voices will be heard.
Yes.
The residents' voices.
And that's another piece that's exciting about this, is that once your voice is heard, they're doing a very good job of recording what people say. So that when you come back to the next meeting, you can see that what you said last week or 2 weeks ago is there in print, so that you know you're being heard. The other thing I like, Councilmember Ford talked about policy making, and that's what we are on the council.
Right.
And the council and the mayor have really understood the value of the small area plan. And so when Councilmember Ford comes forward with something in his district that relates to that plan, the East End Small Area Plan, when he says to his colleagues on the council, we need to do this because this is in accordance with this plan, what that says to the rest of the council is that it's been fully vetted by the citizens of that area, and so that they are comfortable knowing that this isn't going to be something that's going to cause a lot of heartache and a whole lot of consternation. It's going to be something that's really going to be adopted and embraced by the citizens, and he is able to enjoy really good support. The chambers get filled up with his constituents that say, yes, this is in accordance with our plan. We want this done. We want you to fund this. We want you to change these policies in accordance with this and make these things happen. And so that's why I'm really excited about this process. There's nothing more important or valuable to a council member than to have his or her constituents be involved in a process, buy into that process, provide the input into that process, make it complete so that he or she can carry that on through the council process and get things funded and implemented.
That's right. And Councilmember Myers, just 2 quick points I want to share is that the importance of the small area plan. My understanding, and I know we'll probably have expertise to speak to this here soon later in the segment, but the small area plan is once adopted, it's incorporated into the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
It's a part of our zoning ordinance, and it really it gives validity to the efforts that the neighbors have put into that. And it also, it's not project specific in a lot of ways. It kind of gives you a roadmap from big projects to small projects. One of the things we've just accomplished in the East End was the installation of a 4-way stop at Shropshire and East 3rd Street. And it's been well received, but it really helped us in the council office to look at the plan, and it was identified that walkable communities, slower traffic, those things were important, and it was listed and identified in the plan 5 to 6 years ago.
That's excellent. Can you talk a little bit about how investment has come to the area based on having a plan? So if I'm a developer, if I'm someone who wants to put a store in or whatever it is I want to do, it helps me know that someone out there has a plan that what I want to do fits into.
It does. I think it allows that. We've had a lot of public investment And let's start there. The public investment that the government, the council, and the administrations have provided, I think it starts there. I think just having a small area plan, saying that our local government wants to dedicate resources to really study in depth certain neighborhoods, sends a signal both to the residents and to the business community that may want to come into that area. I think that's a start in and of itself. It raises awareness.
Sure.
It raises the profile that these are neighborhoods worth investing in. And I think it starts there. That's leadership, at work. And I'm very thankful that the council, even before my time on council, embrace the tool of the small area plan.
Sure. You mentioned leadership, and that's really key. So what we're looking for in the Cardinal Valley area, in Councilmember Peggy Henson's district, and also out in the 8th district in the Armstrong Mill West area plan, we're looking for leaders. And if you live in this area or if you own a business area, you are a leader, and we need your input. And so as we continue this segment, we're gonna come back after a break with Councilmember Peggy Henson, along with Jim Duncan from our planning department.
Hi, I'm Peggy Henson, the 11th District Council member, and I'm here with Jim Duncan, who is the long-range planning manager for the Lexington Urban County Government. And then I have with me also Chris Ford, who is the 1st District Council representative. And we're going to talk about small area plans and how I'm going to ask Jim first, what is a small area plan and how do they benefit our community?
Well, a small area plan is really a device that enables the comprehensive plan to reach into neighborhoods and other defined areas and address issues that are important to the citizens and to the community. And those issues can range from neighborhood identity and general security to major infrastructure such as sidewalks and open space. A small area plan looks at transportation and housing needs. It looks at recreation and job opportunities, and it looks at community facilities and services and access to those.
Very good, thank you. And so currently there are 2 small area plans, is that correct, underway. One is in the Cardinal Valley neighborhood or area from Red Mile Road to Parker's Mill Road, I believe, and that covers my district that I represent, District 11. And then there's another one in the Armstrong Mill Center Parkway area.
That's right, and that includes the neighborhoods sort of surrounding the Tates Creek Schools campus area.
Okay.
And both of those plans were identified by the Planning Commission in the 2013 Comprehensive Plan.
Yeah. So this will go into the comprehensive plan once it's complete, and it will guide any development, redevelopment.
That's right.
As we move forward.
The small area plans are adopted by the Planning Commission once they're complete. They go through a similar process as the comprehensive plan, including extensive public engagement. And then once the plans are adopted, they become the official policy that guide and direct development decisions in those areas.
Good. Thank you, Jim. And Chris, I know that you have recently, you have a plan complete here in the East End. We're in this Charles Young Center, which is one of my favorite buildings in the city, and historical at that. So a lot of the small area plan is centered around the Charles Young Center.
That's correct, Councilmember Henson. The East End Small Area Plan was completed in 2009, and of course, as Jim mentioned, made a part of the comprehensive plan. And it's been a very useful tool here. I'm glad to welcome you back to the Charles Young Center, and Jim, of course, was very hands-on in the East End plan. But just for example, when we worked together a few years ago, I was fortunate Councilmember Henson served on the Charles Young Redevelopment Task Force, which was a community-based effort to reopen the Charles Young Center. The Charles Young Center was a top priority in the East End plan, and also one of the goals in the East End plan was community engagement. And with our activities, we were able to do that. And fortunately, well, we're here in the center today.
And I will tell you, if you look out the window today at what has taken place here and what was here prior to that,
Right.
I think you see what that small area plan has done for this area. I think it's remarkable.
That's right, and you know, it's just recently we had a community event for the 5-year update, and many of the things that we see taking fruition now, from the Isaac Murphy Art Garden to the Lyric Theater,
Right.
many of the traffic improvements we've made were all identified in the small area plan, but there's still work to do. We look forward to continuing to use it as a guide.
Good. I know it's a lovely area. I love it so much over here, and I think the folks that live here deserve this.
Yes.
And I hope to get the same thing over in the Purcell's Road, Cardinal Valley area. There are a lot of specific areas that probably need quite a bit of attention. Wouldn't you agree?
I
Jim?
would, and part of the small area plan process is to identify the assets as well as the issues. Charles Young was certainly an asset for the East End, and we will find some of those same things in Cardinal Valley and Armstrong Mill and try to build on those and make those as assets and important events for the community.
Well, good. I'm so grateful that we have this process to go through. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to go back to Councilmember Myers for comments. So thank you very much.
Welcome back. I hope that you found the segment with Councilmember Henson and Jim Duncan very exciting, as I have. So in closing, what we're going to do is talk about, we're going to put on the screen for you today how you can get involved. As we said, if you missed the September 23rd kickoff meeting, there's still plenty of meetings to get involved, and then the meetings coming up for the Cardinal Valley Small Area Plan are also coming up. So if you look at your screen now, we've got contact names and information along with email addresses. You can email the contact to get a copy of the survey and then fill it out and send it back in. And then also we've got the contact to find out when the next meetings are, where those meeting places are, and how you can come and participate. We're also going to put on the screen a map of the Cardinal Valley Small Area Plan target area, and then also a map of the Armstrong Mill West target area, so that if you live in and around these districts, you'll know exactly where the footprint is that we're targeting for these two area plans. And again, I really encourage you, if you own a business in the 8th District or in the Cardinal Valley area, or you're a resident of the 8th District, or you live in the Cardinal Valley area, that you take this opportunity, this almost once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, to get involved in this small area plan. We need your input, we need your insight, we need your knowledge. You know, what's working well in these areas, what's not working well, what are solutions to changing things so that they're better. And remember that you're creating a document that's a living document. It's going to be a roadmap to the future. Thank you very much.